food. I could do like a hotel setting in my room, and it feels like I'm in this hotel. So that's the problem you're solving for people who feel, oh, they miss dining out, and you just give them a tip that you could do this. So that's how an example of how you solve problems. And then you need to engage your audience. Engage the audience that you are forming a relationship with online. And how do you engage your audience? It's still pretty much on the content strategy to know the right content to send, when to send them, how often, which is consistent. How often do you want to send them? So, I mean, this aspect of building your brand, like I said, is a standalone that requires um,
More
consistent and
training.
conscious effort and training, which I believe Loretta has as a standalone. So we can move to, Loretta, could you move to the next slide?
Okay. Right.
Yes. So 10 steps to grow your presence as an authority on social media. So I thought to um, list out 10 steps to grow yourself as an authority on social media online. Before I dive in, when it comes to building your brand, which is the first one anyway, is the first topic here. I have the first point here. You have to choose a primary social media handle. In order for you to be strategic and then to get results, you literally can be everywhere. You have to choose your primary social media handle. So for instance, I'm very active on LinkedIn. That's where I build my network. That's where I engage people. I come to Instagram not as often as I go to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is my go-to. Some people are very active on Facebook. Some people are very active on social media. Some people on Instagram. Some people are very active on Twitter. So you need to choose your primary social media handle, and the others could be your secondary. So it means like if Instagram, for in my own case, if LinkedIn is saying 100% of my presence, I could decide to give Instagram like 40% or 30%. Just like that. You know how you just randomly share how you give the other network your time. But my primary handle as a person is LinkedIn. So the next one is choose the right network, which I did touch in the previous slide. You have to connect with the right people. You're in the hospitality industry. I don't see how connecting with someone in engineering would benefit you. Someone who is a mechanical engineer will benefit you. So if you have such people in your network, oh no, you're doing is the wrong strategy you're building, because I mean he's not going to tell you you're not going to get opportunities with him of advancing your career in the hospitality space. So you have to choose the right network. Then again, then grow your audience organically, which I did touch in the previous slide. Don't buy followership. There's no competition about it. You just need to connect with the right people. It could be 100 followers you have, it could be 200 connections you have, but they have to be connections that impact well into you as an individual, as a person, and in your as a professional as well. So grow your audience organically. Don't be in a rush. Don't be in a hurry. Just connect. Go with the flow. Ensure that you're giving value. You're engaging your audience. You're saying the right things at the right time. That's literally it. So connect, follow, and engage. Yes. So when you connect, you follow people and engage them. Some people just think when you build your personal brand, you connect with Loretta and that's it. No, when you connect with her, check her out sometimes when she posts her page. And don't just comment because you just want to comment. Read what she has there and then share your knowledge or your understanding or contribute to those contents or to the posts that she has. That's literally how you engage, you follow, and then you connect with the audience that you have. So then again, we said content strategy. Like I said, that is big on its own. It stands as a course. You need to know the right content to post. You need to know how to go about it. You need to know how to get into, we call them the big shots, the people who take decisions. How do you get connected with the likes, the CEOs, the ones who give out the employment opportunities, the ones who make decisions? All of that all come into content strategy of how to post the right content that will attract and get the attention of the right audience that you need at that particular time. And then engage your audience with compelling content. Don't just say, oh, today's a bright day on LinkedIn. Yes, or rather, today's a good morning. Connect. Use content that is compelling. For instance, oh, like some of them could be something that you observe that in another country or in another hotel that you could tie to what your hotel is doing. So that's how your content should. These are typical examples of how your content should be compelling, and in relevant ways. Like coming on LinkedIn and talking about a gossip doesn't look right, but that could look right on Instagram, but also on LinkedIn. It could look right on some other social media handles. So that's literally um, um, how you engage your audience with compelling content and in relevant ways as well. Then give value, value, value. Life is not all about taking, give. Life is not all about selling, 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 selling yourself. Solve problems, be a solution provider. And we all provide solutions. Funny enough, if you come to think of it, in our everyday life, we all provide solutions. Come to just look at your whole day you spent today. If you sit back, at close of the day and see how many problems you've solved, if you put that on a notepad and then see um, how much you've impacted in the lives of people around you, you see that literally everybody is a problem solver, but we do not identify ourselves as problem solvers. So give value, value, value. You'll be amazed at how much value you give as an individual, and then put them. Don't just give those values and keep them to yourself. Put them online. Let people know you that you are a problem solver, and then you're good at giving values, and you're good at giving, not just receiving. It attracts the right audience so tremendously, like magic. Then don't, like I said, don't be about problems, don't be about promotion, solve problems, and be constant and consistent. I call that the double C. So you don't have to log into your social media account on Monday and come back there in a month's time. Granted, there are times that calls for it. Come on, we're all not machines. We can't work because doing content is really so much work. But here you're not into content marketing. You're just building your brand as an individual. So you could decide to share, post your content. It could be like 3 times in a week. It could be like 4 times in a week. It could be as little as few sentences. But just try to be constant and consistent. It's a double C. So you would engage the audience, and they will see your relevance and your presence, and they see how active you are. Then set your goals. Set goals. Goal setting. It's so very much important. We need to set goals. Setting goals makes your objective, it makes your journey, it gives your journey a purpose, it gives your journey an objective when you set goals. And that's where another thing that I do as a brand and as a company. We're into vision board strategy, which we always do at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year, where you can highlight your goals in a fun way on your vision board. So Loretta, if you could hear me, could you move to the
Yes.
next? And is everybody hearing me?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, because I think I saw
Please
someone's
give us
notes.
a thumbs up if you can
Yeah, because I
hear.
saw someone's notes that said she
Okay.
can't hear
Oh, please let's know. That would be a
hmm,
pity if you're here and we can hear you.
yet.
If you're just joining us, thank you so much for showing up. We are just trying to check if you can hear us. If you can hear us, please let us know. So I guess Vera, we could continue if that's
Okay,
fine.
okay. So it takes us to the next slide, which is create a calendar that works for you. I mean, having a calendar that works for you is pretty much how work is done. Like when we wake up to our regular jobs, you don't just go to your desk and sit down. You have your schedule, what you are going to do on this day. So to translate that into your personal brand, so have a calendar, create a calendar that works for you. Create in your calendar, have what kind of content you want to post this week, this day, tomorrow, the other day, have that content. Have your schedule. When do you want to post them? When is your network active? When are they online? When is the right time to catch them online? Whereby they could see your posts. What channel? That goes back again to the social media, choosing your primary social media. What channel do you want to use for certain messages? Because we all know that these social media handles, they engage different audience. So like being so serious on Instagram becomes very boring. Instagram is fun, pictures, fun, short notes. But you could do all of those long notes on LinkedIn, but not really Instagram. So you have to choose the right channel, and then your time, it has to be at the right time when people are active, when people are um, up and doing, and then you also have to be consistent. So the calendar aspect again is a big field on its own. Creating a calendar that works for you. It's a big field to dive in on its own. That I believe is also a standalone course on Loretta's program, which it would be a fabulous thing for you to sign up and see how to create a calendar, because a lot of people are doing this. I never used to be so big on personal branding, but I got coached. I took part in a lot of all of what I'm discussing about it now, and I'm seeing the results tremendously. So we hope that you would sign up for the next course and see how we all can help you work together and see create a calendar that works for you. So to the next slide.
Okay then.
Yes, thank you. Yes, conclusion. With everything that I've been talking about, that I've been discussing about with you, personal branding, like I use the word, is the catalyst to launch you personally and professionally in this modern world of business. It opens doors, so many doors of opportunities for you in the future, right now and in the future. I'll tell you, there are a lot of collaborations going on right now. Yes, there's really nothing happening in this space. Yes, we know that a lot of jobs have been lost, but you'd be amazed how much collaboration is going on right now between companies. How much people, there's still so many people who are getting jobs in different roles in the travel industry, in the hospitality sector. It's still happening, even though jobs are being lost, it's still happening. So um, there's so much benefit in this modern day of business. You can't just rely on what the old ways that you've been carrying yourself either as an employee or as an entrepreneur. You have to spend so much time to develop your personal brand. Just like businesses spend so much money to develop their business brand, and they do so well, they make so much money from it. So if you to get the right job, to get the right network, to get the right business, it's simple. It's your personal branding. People want to connect with you. They want to trust you. And the only way they can do this is online. When they see you online, they want to they want to know who you are, what you stand for. And everything is so made easy and possible now via your online presence. So that's pretty much in brief of what personal branding is. These are the steps that you need to do. So I'm assuming that this is like a fresh topic that a lot of people here haven't really dived into. So these are the steps to get to work now. Then get to work now and see how it works for you. And then come back. Yes, we want to encourage you to come back with the brief knowledge you've had to make you start, develop your interest, start building your brand, and then come back so much ready, and let's launch you into the business world as a personal brand in self to get the right opportunities. Winning together as a team is the whole objective of who we are and why we're here today. So the next slide, Loretta. So yes, get to work now. And you got this. We all have this. We are all in this together. So get to work now, and you've got this. So that's why I have like the macho man. Yeah, you can do this. And then I have the happy girl who is running out, rushing out to go start building her personal brand. You know. So the next slide.
Okay.
Yes. So thank you, and it's time to ask me questions. So yes, you can follow my journey
Wow.
on
Wow.
LinkedIn. So yes, it's time for you to ask me questions. I'm all yours for the next how many minutes that we have left. I'm all
Wow.
yours. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Vera. I am just so, I'm sure my audience has benefited tremendously so far.
I do
We
hope
have
so too.
been here. And I'm just going to check the chat room, see if we
Okay.
have any questions. But I would like to tell our audience that please feel free. I think Vera, most people, like you said at the beginning, to introduce themselves have done so.
Okay.
Chat room. I think we could start by looking at that briefly, and maybe you might want to comment briefly on that. That would be fantastic.
Okay.
We've got a
Okay.
hospitality practitioner,
Okay.
Fisayo. My LinkedIn profile comes up with my business name. Somebody says there. That's
Okay.
Folashade, and human resource consultant with special interest in hospitality and tourism. That sounds exciting already.
Yeah, it does.
And then we also have Samantha, a hospitality professional, also a practitioner that loves baking as well. And we have in the midst also, Folasha that's how improving the caliber of staff available to the work in the industry and also the work environment. Network, learn, and keep learning. So, owner of Continental Restaurant, working with expertise. Okay, those are some of the things they're all involved in, really.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
basically, we have this group of audience here that have mentioned. So we would want to hear, since we're very few now, but before, while we're thinking of that, Vera, I want
Okay.
to emphasize on some things you have said and to see how you can even further encourage us. You've used very catchy words I love, that launching out, trying to ensure that we look at the options. The world is changing, which is part of what I was saying, and that's why Listen and Learn is here also to ensure that many young females key into this changing world, key into the change that is taking place. Because, like you said, if we keep sitting down just questioning what is happening, we're just going to see that things are moving on and then we're left behind, really. So,
Yeah.
Vera, moving forward, I want you to talk a bit about, how can we really take this serious and also carry along others? Because, like you said, that it's about investing in self. What would
Yeah.
you say, please, to especially the young females that are here now in terms of the importance of investing in self? Because I always feel sad each time I have listen and learn. I know there are challenges when there are many young girls out there. They get invited for this thing, but many still don't see the importance. We are focused on other things, perhaps. I know data is not still cheap. I am still hoping I will get sponsors that I can say, look, 100 girls to attend program and we'll give you free data. I am looking forward to such things, you understand? So that if the data that is the problem, let's give you the data and come and learn, because there's so much to listen and learn about. So can you just what do you call it? Talk a bit just to motivate and inspire those here. What's the importance of investing in self, especially when it comes to do with this personal branding now? I'm sure we can't say it enough, but can you just add to that? Because you mentioned that in terms of it's about investing instead of spending time to develop one's personal brand.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. The importance cannot be overemphasized. I'll use a
Right.
simple illustration. Um, you want to you want to earn the good money. You
Right.
want to you want to get the good jobs. You want to land in the right industry or in the right
Right.
space.
Right.
Those are things you cannot achieve if you remain at that at the current pedestal that you are in. That's literally
Right.
how it is. So it means
Right.
you're aiming to get something, you have to back it up with with action. So for instance, um, there's so opportunities. I mean, this whole COVID-19 period made so many opportunities that used to be tough to access, so easily accessible. We had so many virtual conferences and events, such
Yes.
like this, that are being given free. All you need is your time and
Right.
data. And
Right.
and if you want to leverage on all of these opportunities, it means you have to create that time.
That's
I,
true.
I know that it depends on the financial situation of I know it depends on the financial situation of such participants. But then again,
Right.
if you can't keep using that as an excuse, that's literally how it works in real life. So it means if you need to sacrifice something
Yeah.
that that you had for fun, if you need to
That's true.
sacrifice that cost that you would dedicate to have this for fun in order to get data to be available to learn about this course or to learn
Right.
about this subject or to learn about or get that opportunity to take part in that conference, you've got to do it because that's literally how you make yourself accessible, how you back up what you want. For instance, you say you're aiming for this position, you have to back it up with the right skills, with the right knowledge. And the only way to back it up with the right skills and knowledge is to learn and to make yourself
Yeah.
available when such opportunities come in. It's so important.
Absolutely.
Gone are the days where they say um, there's this common word they used to say back then that fake it until you make it. Sorry, that doesn't work
Or
anymore.
anymore.
Who are you
Exactly.
faking?
Exactly.
Everybody with the internet, everybody is getting informed. Like I said, the clientele that we used to have in the past has changed. Most clients are informed. So what are
Yeah.
you going to fake? Same way with the employers. So
Yeah.
you need to back up whatever you are aiming to be. You need to back it up with skills. You need to
That's
back it
true.
up with knowledge. And how do you get these skills and knowledge? You can't get these skills and knowledge by sitting in the comfort of your space. It's by learning, by taking part in classes, by taking part in conferences, by taking part in events. By literally just learning. That's how you get the skills. If you want to take the learning further well into uh, getting a certification or a degree for that, but literally you have to make yourself available to have
Absolutely.
access to all of this. So that's
Fantastic.
how important it is. There's no way around it. That's literally it.
Fantastic. Thank you
It's
so
really no way
much.
around it. You have to make yourself
Thank you
available.
so much for that, Vera. I am very particular about one-on-one and making this interactive, like you say. And because we have absolutely three young people here with us, I would want you to please contribute because this is all part of skill building, also being able to speak and talk in public. So you've heard a lot of things from Vera and myself, some of the things about Ska. I would love you to share your own perspective. Are there challenges? Do you think this is doable or do you think it's difficult? Or do you think what Listen and Learn as an initiative is trying to achieve and promote among young people to support them to develop their transferable skill? Because that's what the world and the industry we are in now, these three sectors, do you think it's just something that is we're just dreaming big and it's impossible? Let's hear from you, please. Please unmute yourself and introduce yourself and just share with us what are you thinking, what comes to your mind, and let's share with our guest today so that she can uh, enlighten and shed more light on what you might have in your mind there. So I'm speaking to Ibitera as I see the name Folashade Samantha. You've been listening to us. What's your thoughts? Just whatever comes to your mind. Are you finding it interesting? Is it sounding familiar? Have you heard similar things? Or you never just thought about it the way Vera has told us this evening? Let's see if we can do some of that and any other questions that you might want to ask while we're still now here before we call it a day. Thank you. So who wants to be the first out of the three of you? Share with us. Please unmute yourself. You want to say something to us. Fisayo? Hello, Fisayo, are you there? Folashade, are you there?
Hello, good evening. This is
Okay,
Shadi. Can you hear
Folashade.
me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you
Okay, I'm
so
in a bit
much.
of a noisy place, so I have
Okay,
my
no
ears in
problem.
my speaker. Okay,
Okay,
I used to work
fantastic.
as an HR manager in Lilygate Hotel, and
Okay,
at a point in time, I had to do a lot of terminations, of employment, and
okay,
it wasn't really me. So I was very pained that I had to do that job. That's why
okay,
I've pulled out and I'm now consulting. I'm helping people to get jobs.
okay, right.
So I still want to be in
All right. Okay.
hospitality and I'm adding tourism to it. I hadn't really thought about
Fantastic,
aviation, but I guess that's part of
fantastic.
it. So
Yeah,
I don't mind that. So I think basically what you're doing is what I'd like to be doing as well, but apart
Fantastic.
from just teaching people skills, also helping them to see how the skills they have right now match up with available jobs. So I'm growing a network.
Fantastic.
So when
Fantastic.
I saw this post by Vera, I said, no, I have to be here. Like you said, look and learn. No,
Fantastic.
sorry, listen and learn.
Listen and learn.
So of course,
Yeah.
one will pick up one or two things here and there. So yes, I'm growing
Fantastic.
my network. And I like what Vera said about not having too many connections, having
Right.
people that are particular to what you want to do. Like so, I'm trying
Yeah.
to build a hospitality network now. So it's not just my connections or my followers on other social media, like you said, and also
Fantastic. Yeah.
my primary social media now is LinkedIn, because that's a professional
Fantastic.
place. But I
Please,
find that
yeah.
many young people are not there.
Yes.
Yes, so I'm trying to look for where they are.
I
So
know. Okay.
I'm on a search for that, but I'm
Right.
pulling a few people in, and there's some people haven't even thought about it.
That's
One thing
true.
I know for a fact is that our young people need guidance.
Absolutely.
So as many
Yeah.
of us as are willing to reach out to them, like what you're doing, Loretta, is very laudable.
Yeah.
Please keep at it, and I'll
Thank
be
you.
happy to support in
Thank
any way
you.
I can. I think I'll try and look for you on Instagram or wherever,
We will
and just
definitely, please,
in your
yes, please,
connection. Yes,
let's connect. Yes,
yes.
I've been
So
on hospitality and
they do need
visiting.
help. Yes, they need help. They need guidance. A lot of them need to know how to comport themselves, and how
Absolutely.
to plan a career. Because some people
Yeah.
just think, okay, I'm coming to hospitality. At a point in time, because of the turnover of staff we had, we had to start doing um, we had to start having contract staff. So we say we're training you for 6 months. So if you
Right.
manage to stay till 6 months, then okay, we'll renew it for another
We
six
know that
months.
you
Then
are,
we'll now say
yeah,
you have a
you
job.
are rid
So
of, yeah.
yeah, I didn't like that because it
Right.
wasn't just who I am. You have a job, you have a job. Not that you're training. Of course, we gave them money, and I was happy. They were happy to have it because we weren't making any deductions for pension or tax. So in
Right.
the short term, it was interesting to a young person. But if you're
Right.
building a career, you know that that's not a very safe, place
No.
to
No.
So they do need to be
Yeah.
guided
On
about
these things.
what are the options available. Yes, and how to look far into the future. Don't just look for, oh, I have a job now, 3 months, 6 months, I'll be fine, and then I'll think of what to do. No, immediately you get in, plan that as I'm leaving this receptionist job, I'm going to be, working towards being a front office manager soon in the next 3 to 5 years. So they need to have that kind of guidance to have a vision in their minds of how they can actually stay longer in the industry than to just be job hopping, so to speak you know. And
Absolutely.
like I said, I want to work towards having a good work environment so that they can feel safe enough to stay, and then spend their extra time, coming for programs like this and learning and just improving themselves, going on personal development.
Sounds,
Because not like just on selfie mode,
that's true.
Instagram followers and everything. So they need to be helped to get something
Yeah,
deeper
that's true.
in the
Yeah.
industry. And
Yeah.
another thing why I want to hold on is that we're a country in Africa that's supposed to be very big, right?
Right.
We're looking for foreign direct investment on the economic aspect.
Right.
When these foreigners come in,
Right.
they need a welcoming committee. And I think
Absolutely.
that's what the hospitality and tourism sector
Very
is.
much so.
Now, if the people that are there are not even looking at themselves as professionals, the way they're
Yeah.
going to handle the opportunities they come across may not be
Fantastic.
the best. So I'm on ground to give that, that guidance in every way.
Fantastic.
And I'm glad I was able to be part
Well,
of this. I really am happy
fantastic.
to grow my
Thank you
network
so
with you. And
much.
of course, I'll be happy to be part of any other thing you're doing. Thank
You
you.
are very much welcome. But I still want Vera to add that about you said a lot of things for Lashade. I'm so
Yes.
what they call it,
Yes.
pleased to meet you and have you on the platform as well. And thank God you said Vera, it was true Vera. And this is for me how connections really happen and collaboration because somebody gets to meet somebody and then somebody else gets to meet that same person, etc. Some of the questions you also asked on tourism package, I can give you a lot of information about that, maybe outside the
Okay,
event.
please
So if
do.
we
Thank you.
connect,
No
that would be
problem.
fantastic as well. So, and when you were saying
Okay,
where to
I'll do
get
that.
them, I do things also on Facebook. I think our young people, plenty of them are on Facebook. So if you can also do things
Okay.
on Facebook, that's a good place, a handle
Please.
to be
Okay.
on when it comes to getting young people and their own
All
input
right.
as well.
Okay.
Yes, for
Thank you.
sure. Yeah. So Vera, I don't know if you have one or two things to add to what she had said as well.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, just listen to everything she
She has
said. I
said,
like the
yeah,
energy towards the
yes,
young people. And
yes,
she did mention something that she said something that they need to learn how to comport themselves,
Yes,
like
yes,
we keep saying that there's so much to learn with the new generation from the previous generation, and that's the disposition that I, I always want the young ones to know that you don't know it all with the new technical
yes,
ways.
yes.
Yes, the old ways, you say it's old, but you need to learn from the old ways and add it to your new ways, and you get a better
That's
result.
true.
Yeah, so
That's
when she
true.
mentioned that, I like that fact that they need to learn how to comport themselves. And also, they need to see the industry, because I think that's really key. And when I mentioned, when I was talking, I said the industry has always been positioned itself like it's an industry where you can't build your career. It's a no-no. And I think that's a problem with how the way it has been represented in Africa, which I'm glad that there's so much they're doing now to correct that. It's an industry where you
Fantastic.
can build a career. The young ones need to know that you can build a career in the tourism hospitality space. Because I mean,
Please.
with the aviation, it was quite different. Yes, they also the aviation to be where you can build a solid career. But when it comes to tourism hospitality, it's almost look as if the position where we're not prestigious, as it were.
Yeah, yeah,
But that
yeah.
has changed, and it's changing
Yes,
so drastically. And so that's why these
absolutely.
young ones, yeah, they need to know, and they need to make
Yeah,
themselves available for such programs. Because
yeah.
when you see what the contemporaries are doing elsewhere, somewhere in the world, it means when you
You know
stand
that
with
they
the
are you're
people,
behind. Yes,
yes, absolutely.
yes,
So they need to make, and the only way you can learn is making yourself available for training,
yes, yes,
um, um,
yes. Yeah,
connections, conferences,
yeah.
events. That's the only way you can learn. It's that simple. That's the only learning point.
Fantastic.
So that's,
I'm
yeah,
very
that's all I
glad.
want.
Yeah, yeah. You say, and I think in the chat box, Fisayo, one of our those in the audience, is telling us something similar in terms of everybody needs to attend things like listen and learn. She says she agrees that personal branding and business branding is key, and having something unique that differentiates you from others. So
Yeah.
she likes to participate in listen and learn. One of the programs she likes each time because she's always learning something new. Really.
Oh,
So
great.
one of the questions she's asking is, my question is, how can I build the right audience, most especially on social media? The right audience, most especially on social media. So Vera, she's directing that question to you.
Okay, how
If
can she build the right audience, most
audience,
especially on
most
social?
especially on social media.
Okay, going back to the costs again, I think in one of the slides, I did mention that you have to know the primary social media. That's really key. Before you go back, before you even start developing your network and
Right.
looking for connections, you have to know which of the social media handles are you going to be active on. Because something about building the right audience, it's a give and take. So you're going to be giving, you're going to be receiving. So you have to know, so that you know where you divert all your energy and your time. You literally can't do
Absolutely.
it on
That's true.
all the handles. It's exhausting, and you look like
Right.
being here and there. But if you do pick one
That's true.
handle, what I mean by one handle, like, you remember when I said it in the slide that you could say, I'm going to give 80% of, let's assume that you have 100% energy you want to dedicate to developing your brand on social media. So you could decide that I'm going to work
Right.
primarily with four handles. I could say I'm going to work with LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. That's really the accounts I work with. Then I could say, oh, for LinkedIn,
Right.
I want to meet professionals, because that's really where you meet all the MDs and CEOs. They're very active on LinkedIn. They're not so active on
Yeah.
Instagram and the
Yeah.
others.
Yeah.
If you notice it, if they give
That's true. Yeah.
yeah, if they give 100% on LinkedIn, they will come to Instagram and give just a few percentage of their time. They are really active, because LinkedIn is the primary
That's
professional
true.
network. So
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you want to be more about the profession, or
Yeah.
say and aiming for the big job, you have to be active on LinkedIn more than Instagram. Instagram will carry your stories. What I mean by your stories, you carry probably when um, maybe you want to show the fun part of you, of how you're moving from one service to another service, or I'm just thinking off my head of a particular job role. Instagram could be that fun picture aspect
Right.
of it. Could be more about maybe sharing
That,
content on, probably on some food recipe and all of that. But so, like I said, you have to choose. You have to really identify what you want the public to perceive of you. That's number one. So, who asked this question now?
one.
Fisayo. Is this
Uh,
Fisayo who asked this question?
That's Fisayo. I guess if some of these things also will be clear, like we are saying, I haven't explained. No, Vera has said there are some things that are standalone that also you would learn one-on-one better in a workshop or seminar training you specifically in this, because everything you can be explained here to make it clear in terms, because each person, sometimes it has to be tailored to what you are doing as well.
Great.
So when you come
Yeah.
to a training session, then it's easier to be helped and say, okay, you are doing baking or you are doing cooking or whatever. Why do you do it this way? So it will be easier. So I'm hoping that, like as we wrap up the year, we're definitely going to have another session of this that we're going to invite physically. We just wanted to have this so that we would have an idea that this is important and we need to key into it as young people and as female and people in these three sectors. So in order to go further and deeper, I would encourage that, please keep in touch so that when that time comes and we're going to do something that is more detailed, you will be able to come on board also and benefit further, because that's the aim. That's why we're doing all this, because there's still a lot to learn in terms of trying to build all these audiences and know the right handles and even how to use them, because there are techniques, there are tools, there are ways you have to go about it, and you can learn it alone. You've got to also hear from others that have the expertise and the competencies and skills that know how to go about it. So I will just say, don't be anxious. Let's start small and dream big. We will get there.
Right.
And this is
Yeah.
just the beginning, really.
Yes.
So I think, and I think on that note, I don't know, Vera, if you want to chip in a few things that Folashade had asked, how can we know about tourism packages available in Nigeria? I don't know if you want to say anything.
Oh
On
yes,
that.
there's a whole yes. I saw that have very interesting question.
Question.
And there's a
Okay.
whole lot.
Okay.
Okay, Folashade said there. There's a whole lot
Yes.
of yes. There's
Yes, I
a whole lot
am.
of okay. There's a whole lot of tour operators um that have packages that they're offering. And let me just say something, Folashade. There's a lot that we've learned from the COVID-19. So there's a lot of restructuring and rebuilding in that area of tourism packages. So it's not as
Okay.
defined, not as defined like you will see it in Zanzibar, because they have always been on tourism. It's not as defined as you will see in other countries that have always dedicated so much of their resources to building their tourism sector. So there's so much that we're getting to know now in the Nigerian sector with what we saw with the COVID-19. And so when we saw that nothing happened with international travel for months, all our attention was divided or rather focused on local tourism. So there's still a lot of what do I would like coordination. So I can't pinpoint and say this is where you will know them. So this is how literally you get to know them or know how to get these packages. There are a couple of tour companies that have different destinations that they are selling in Nigeria. I could send it to you on WhatsApp. You could check them up. Hopefully
That'll
from
be fine.
2021.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Hopefully from
Yes.
2021, with all the talking we've been talking, because we really have did a lot of talking this year. We've had so many conferences, events, and I'm hopeful, I'm praying that the talking should not be in vain. Talking for 2021 will come into action. Then we'll have a more structured, because ordinarily all we need with this kind of question you ask is it's supposed to be dived into a tourism board in Nigeria.
Okay.
When you go to this tourism board, that's where you have all the tour operators registered and all of that. But it's also rebuilding.
Yes.
Not like it was never there, it
We're
was
work in
there.
progress.
Work in progress, yes. So that's that. So pretty much what you can do now is that I would send to you on WhatsApp some few companies I know that, like I know Michael. I met Michael on this Michael Balogo. I met him on the streets of LinkedIn, and he's doing so much amazing stuff. He's the owner of Tour Nigeria. I'll send you his
Okay.
contact, and he has a lot he's doing with the tourism package in Nigeria.
Yeah, there are a whole lot of
Yeah.
them for Lashadi on Instagram. There's
Yes.
one also called Stunning Niger. Also, there are plenty for Lashadi. If you just go on Instagram, but like we are all connected now, so just ask us or link up with us, and then I can send a whole list of names. Really,
Of them,
there are
yeah.
plenty. There are plenty. So there's no, and depending on what your needs are, what you want to use it for, or whatever, they come in all sorts, all sorts. So there are possibilities. Yes, I will just put in my the chat box also my own Instagram link as well, so that you can send me a DM there. And if there's anything else also that you want to find out, just let me know. So mine, I will just put it in there so that we can connect after this. So Vera, I think with this, I think that sort of like takes care of all the questions, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Except I know somebody that was here before, maybe her network, she logged out. And Fisayo, we had answered that question. So I think at this point, except there's any other thing that you might want to chip in, I want to say, what would you tell us as your takeaway point from today's session? What would you want to leave the audience thinking about as we wrap up for the evening?
Okay. What I would love the audience to take home is how important that they need to the attention, the importance they need, the importance they pay to building themselves as a brand. I mean, if companies spend so much money on building their brand and they do so well, why don't
Right,
you as an individual, you don't need to
right,
spend so much money because technology has made it so easier, but devote that time and effort to build yourself as a brand. So that you could, I mean, the opportunities are out there for us. Who stops us from
right.
taking advantage of this opportunity? That's how important it is. And like I always say, make a
Really,
comparison when you're building your personal brand to a company brand. A company, they get so much money because they have built their brand. So in like manner, show some comparison to yourself and say that there are so many opportunities I can land by just building my brand. So
right.
that's,
Fantastic.
yeah, that's what I
Fantastic.
take home.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Vera.
Thank you for
I'm very
having me.
grateful for coming
Thank
on
you.
board today, taking, as we say, time out of no time that we never have, to be here for this long, really. I am
My
sure
pleasure.
on behalf of all the audience, everybody has learned, one or two tips and all. And like I was saying, I don't know, Folashali, I don't know if you were here at the beginning, because I had said I was going to run through what Listen and Learn stands for. I don't know if you were here when we had introduced the program.
No, I
Um,
think I had a bit of it, not all of it though, but I think I was
okay,
able
all
to
of it.
catch up.
Okay, on it. Okay. So, but basically, like I said, we have this regularly, like every 2 months or every other month, depending on
Okay.
the speakers bring on board. And then, of
Yes.
course, for those that want to go further, just like you are trying to also do with young people, we have a membership club that we sort of meet online every month
Okay.
as well. There's a membership fee to it, and there are different things that each of the club members have to do. It's all about building their skills also and attending this particular forum. Quite a number of them had exams now. We have to shift a few things and all, but it's open basically to young females aspiring,
Okay.
studying, or working in the industry. That's
All
the
right.
idea. Yes.
Anyway,
So
I followed you on
it will be
Instagram though,
lovely to
so
connect with you.
yes.
Okay, fantastic. So we'll keep talking and see
Thank
how
you.
it goes.
All
So
right.
Vera, thank you. I love
Thank
quotes.
you.
So I'm just going to, end with one quote with what we have said so far today. If it makes sense, that
Okay.
I will say, we should start where we are, use what we have to build this brand, and do what we can, really. But we
Yes.
should definitely not just sit down there and do nothing. And I like what you said with the macho, get to work now. So I want to tell my audience, let's get to work now, as Vera said, because there's so much to do. So I hope today has been enlightening and a worthwhile moment that we have spent here. Thank you for showing up, because if you didn't show up, maybe it would have been me and Vera just talking to each other here and having a conversation. And I always tell Vera, I'm not about the so many numbers. If 6 or 7 people that were the maximum numbers I saw on the list today have come here today and I've got something, I'm fulfilled, and I'm happy to know that we've made a difference, to somebody's mindset or somebody's outlook about personal branding. So on that note, thank you for showing up and wishing you all a delightful week ahead as we begin tomorrow. So Vera,
Thank you.
thank
For
you.
the same.
All right,
As
thank you.
host, we will let everybody log out, and then I will now log out from the
Okay.
session completely.
All
So
right.
thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for
Bye
showing up.
bye.
Thank you.
Vera, so I'll connect back with you on the phone later on. And
All
Folashade, please
right,
get in
thank
touch
you.
so that we can talk further.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you,
Okay, then I
everyone.
will.
Have a
Thanks.
Okay.
great
Bye.
evening.
Okay, bye
Bye.
then. Pleasant evening.
Bye.
Okay. Isayo, I see you. Thank you. Hello, Captain. Are you there? Anyone there? Thank you so much, Captain, for all the privilege of using your platform and being here. I'm so grateful. May God continue to bless TBS. Thank you.